Brad Logan alongside Jared Redding, Reps 247 and Inside the Rebels, a 247 Sports affiliate. Jared, we just heard from Coach Bianco and a couple of players. They're excited going into this Omaha trip. I think everybody, along with Ole Miss fans, I think they'll flood Omaha, but this coaching staff, along with these players, they're ready to get going.
Yeah, I think this, it's, excited is a bit of an undersell, because it was, a lot more than that, especially, what we heard from Tim Elko, because, obviously, he caught the final out to trigger the dog pile and everything like that, and just, I had a hard time kind of finding words for it, and I think, that just goes to show for this entire team too, especially for somebody like him, who came on this team in 18, was probably the most national championship worthy team from start to finish kind of over the past couple of years, and now he kind of finally gets that opportunity. Heard from Bianco talking about Omaha. Obviously this is only going to be his second time doing it at Ole Miss, but he's been there quite a few times, and so he's seen kind of how things have evolved in Omaha, and talk about how Omaha really embraces college baseball and just kind of a melting pot for a bunch of crazy college baseball fans, whether you're a fan of a team or not. So it's going to be one of those things. You got to continue what Ole Miss has continued what they've been doing. Just lately, you talk about going 5-0 in NCAA tournament. At the same time, there's a shot at a national championship on the line, and they're one of 8 teams to do it.
We've talked about on the website, of course, on our interviews here, this team feels loose. They looked loose down in Hattiesburg, obviously winning those 2 games. And then we hear, after asking Peyton Chatagnier about, did you watch the game last night? I think you actually asked the question. He said, well, I watched part of it, but, we kind of hung out and played pickleball. And then he goes on to tell us who's good and not good at pickleball. The point I'm trying to make is, this seems really loose. And they're playing loose at a good time of the year.
Yeah, and then that's really cool to see too, because they're just, these guys have pitched in front of 12,000 fans playing in the SEC, but you have to more than double that when you go to TD Ameritrade Park. I've been there. I can tell you, it looks kind of like a major league ballpark.
Right.
I know Creighton plays there, and I know it's kind of hosted other games, but it's going to be a big environment, and there's going to be it's going to be almost there, kind of at capacity. No matter who is a fan of who, and just to kind of see that, and it just kind of goes to show that some seniors on this team, or just experienced players like a Peyton Chatagnier, like a Tim Elko, or just just treating it kind of like is business as usual, but at the same time just knowing kind of what's at stake and all that. So it's kind of cool to see that, just kind of feeling a little bit loose, but at the same time there's a lot on the line. Mike
and also the players talked about how special this fan base is, about how much they appreciated the fans that were on hand at the conclusion or when they got back to Swayze Field. There's going to be a ton of Ole Miss fans in Omaha, but you could almost sense an excitement with this coaching staff and with these players, and it's just about the camaraderie of how much they enjoy playing with each other.
And that's something that's kind of a common denominator of just Ole Miss fans across the board. When they're on this big stage, really just anywhere. Of course, we talk about how much they pack Swayze Field. They're one of the top in college baseball and total attendance right here where we're standing here at Swayze Field. But at the same time, they will follow you around. And Ole Miss known for that. Look no further than the Sugar Bowl.
Right.
For football back in January, and how the Superdome was, about 55,000 Ole Miss fans, and that's not even including the opposition or just locals in New Orleans came to play. And I think, it's one of those things here where Ole Miss, the way they're playing, they could attract a lot more crowds than just an Ole Miss fans. If you want to see Tim Elko, and you want to see, a lot of these players that, players across college baseball look up to. We talked about, Tanner Allen, former Mississippi State player, talking about, if he had a kid and he would want his role model to be Tim Elko. And so it's more than just baseball. About that, but it's big for the fan base, obviously. With everything, with all the storylines this year, being 7-14 in the SEC, kind of being left for dead, rock bottom a little bit. All of a sudden, they're one of 8 teams compete for a national championship. So it's I can fully expect to see just a bunch of red and blue, and there's more than just Ole Miss. There's going to be wearing red, but I feel like once Ole Miss plays, it's going to it's going to be really easy to spot them in the crowd.
This will be the last media availability until Omaha, and I believe you're Thursday. Friday is the next availability for media. Thursday will be the next chance that you'll hear. Jared will be in Omaha on Thursday. We'll have everything wall-to-wall coverage on Reps247.com, and Inside the Rebels, an affiliate of 247 Sports. Jared Redding, Brad Logan, Ole Miss is headed to Omaha. We'll see you there. Be sure and tune in to Reps247.com for more. Okay.